Greetings, MFs. I have returned from the world of the employed. Sorry that I disappeared for a week. In case you missed me, I'm back. In case you didn't miss me, then I guess this is a bad day for you. I don't know. Before I get into it, so what I've sort of been asking, now that we're getting closer and closer to 500 subscribers, I'm thinking about starting a Patreon for this channel. It would just be $1 a month. It would gain you access to a special exclusive video every Sunday. And, yeah, $1 a month, exclusive video every Sunday. You would get a shout out at the end of every single video that the channel makes as a subscriber, just as a way for me to say thank you and other stuff like that. Just let me know in the comments down below if you'd be interested in that. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Rank Everything, show where we rank everything. I'm your host, Ryan, and today, recommended by John Man 4980, with a minor change, this is going to be which Soulsborne boss is best to bring home to your parents for dinner. And this is kind of, this truthfully isn't all of them. There's way more. This is like but this is like 167 or something like that. And so, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, this is Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Bloodborne, and Sekiro, and Elden Ring. So, I don't think there's any Demon Souls in here, and even if there was, I don't know Demon Souls, so I wouldn't really be able to do a great thing with those bosses. So, and then some of these bosses I'm not 100% familiar with. Like, there's some that I just straight up don't recognize, so of course those ones are just going to have to be judged based on appearance alone, like we always sort of end up doing. So, let's see. I mean, let's get into our tiers. Our tiers for today are, here at the bottom we have not invited. These are bosses that would not ever be invited over to my parents' house for dinner. Then we have bad guest. These are bosses who would get invited, but they'd come over and then they would just, they'd be bad guests. They wouldn't be very polite and respectful. They'd be putting their feet on the table. They would say that the food's not very good, and they would not be invited again. Then we have good guest. This is like, they do all the right things. They come by, they're respectful, they're nice. We have a good, nice dinner. They like the food, all that kind of stuff. Then from there we have, and parents invite them again. So like, my parents liked having them over so much they invited them over again to have dinner sometime, with or without me, I don't know. And then beyond that we have they live here now. These are it's a Soulsborne boss that was such a good dinner guest. My parents invited them to stay over at their house permanently. Okay. Fair warning. I mean, you know this already, and I don't. This is probably going to be like a crazy long video. I'm talking 30 minutes at least. But here we go. Here we have, this is like the King's Pet from the Dark Souls 2. One of the Dark Souls 2 DLCs that I didn't play those. So, I mean, it's just a big cat. So, like, if it's just a pet, like, my parents love animals, so I think we'd probably put them in, like, the parents invite them again category. The Abyss Watchers. The Abyss Watchers from Dark Souls 3. So the thing with the Abyss Watchers is that there's technically, like, an infinite amount of them or something, because if you can just you can basically make that fight continue on for forever. But like their knights, I think they would be respectful. I'm gonna say good guest on that. This dude is called, like, I don't remember the name, but this is the Scholar of the First Sin, from the Scholar of the First Sin edition of Dark Souls 2. And so, let's see. he's just a big blob of shit. And so I don't know per se. I don't know per se how that would even work. Like, he's probably too big to fit in the house anyway, but we're going to say that he does somehow. He, like, shrinks down to regular people size. So he's just a big blob of goo. He's, like, really smart or something. Like, he's a scholar and whatnot. I'll say that he's a good guest. That's it. Aldrich, one of the lords from Dark Souls 3. This is like a lot of black magics or like dark magic stuff. I don't know. I'm not an expert. But let's see. What I would say is Aldrich. I mean, like, he's got like this humanoid upper half, but I think his bottom half is just like a thing of like sludge. Because like the way that the Dark Souls 3 opening cinematic happens, you can't even really tell what the hell Aldrich is. He's just like a pile of sludge that falls out of a tomb somewhere, and it's kind of Let's see. I'm gonna say that Aldrich is a bad guest. Amygdala or Amygdala, however you prefer to say the name. Considering that Amygdala is invisible until your insight is high enough, just like a lot of the other Eldritch entities in Bloodborne, I'm going to say something like not invited. Amygdala is not invited. Ancestor Spirit. So the Ancestor Spirit, I feel like the Ancestor Spirit is actually chill. It just... I don't know why. I don't know why we fight most of the bosses that we fight in a game like Elden Ring. It just kind of seems, it's whatever. And so, and then like the Regal Ancestor Spirit is a remembrance boss, but I don't know. Okay, what we're going to say is that I think because it's an animal, it like protects the animals, like it's the ancestor spirit that protects the forest or something like that. It's like what I think it is, the feeling I get from it. I'm gonna say my parents invite the ancestor spirit again. Here we have what looks like the Elder Dragon, not Elder Dragon Grail from Elden Ring, but the Elder Dragon from Dark Souls 2. The one where you go up to the dragon area and it's at the very end on the backside of the gigantic castle and stuff. And so, this guy's chill most of the time. And the thing is that you wouldn't even fight this guy most of the time, actually. Yeah, you wouldn't even fight this guy most of the time, actually. What you would do instead is... you would just talk to him and he like gives you something, and he's just like, he's essentially an NPC that you can fight if you're an asshole like that. And so that's why good guest. He would be a good guest. Don't know how he would fit in the house, but he'd be a good guest. I think that this is Smarag, because I think this is Glintstone Dragon Smarag, because I think that's Ryu Lucaria in the background, blue sky. Okay. Smarag, I feel like all the dragons in Elden Ring, except maybe one or two, would be good guests. So Smarag's going to go there. I'm looking at this thing. I don't know what I'm looking at. It looks like a spider. And if it's... No, this can't be Rom. That's not Rom's arena from Bloodborne. Actually, where is Rom? Real quick. Let me see if I can find Rom in here somewhere. Yeah, there's Rom. So this is not Rom. Unless this is the Duke's Dear Freya, which it also doesn't look like that, because I don't know what this green stuff is back here. I don't know what this is. Maybe it's another DLC boss that I didn't fight. I just can't really tell from this picture. It's a spider boss, definitely. But my parents fucking hate spiders, so this dude is not getting invited. Okay, looks like here we have... I'm not an expert in the first game. I think this is Artorias, though. And Artorias would definitely be a good guest, I think. Estelle is not going to be invited. That dude's an asshole. Let's see. We have the Asylum Demon. The Asylum Demon he's probably chill, but he'd probably be like a bad guest. Like his ass is too big. What the fuck is this thing? Is that Bale? I haven't played through the Elden Ring DLC yet, so I don't know if this is Bale, but I think this is Bale just because of the way the ground looks in the arena. And based on what I know about Bale from lore videos that I've seen, he's an asshole. So, bad guest. Pit of Chaos. I think it's called the Pit of Chaos. It's been a while. Not invited. The Gargoyles. I think these are actually both gargoyles right back to back with each other. I think. Right, but the gargoyles. I think these are the Dark Souls 1 gargoyles. I think these are the Dark Souls 2 gargoyles. So the Dark Souls 2 gargoyles probably bad guest. And then I think the Dark Souls 1 gargoyles are good guests. This looks like the blood-starved beast, not invited. I don't know. He eat the dogs or something. I don't know who is this. I cannot tell what boss this is, so we're gonna put it in the not invited category. This looks like this is the final DLC boss for one of the Dark Souls 2 DLCs. I think this is the old. This is either the old Iron King or the old Ivory King. And so if he's a king, he's got really great table manners. So I'm going to say he's a good guest, at the very least. Capra Demon is like straight up evil. He's not getting invited. Is this Ceaseless Discharge or is this Ceaseless Discharge? I can't tell which one of these is Ceaseless Discharge, unless this is Ceaseless Discharge. See, that's the thing. The problem I'm running into all of a sudden is a lot of these bosses look really similar. And so, as great as all the boss design is in all the Soulsborne games, when you put them side by side next to each other, the similarities really, really start to come out. So, okay. I'm trying to tell. Is it the Centipede Demon? Which one of these is the Centipede Demon? That's the next question. I don't know. Where's the Centipede? I don't know. Okay, whatever. Nah, it looks too scary. Not invited. Okay, this thing from Bloodborne. It's like the Star Emissary or something like that. It's like the dudes who got like jellyfish on their heads. Bad guest. Okay, this looks like it could be the Centipede Demon. Not invited. Gundyr. I think it's specifically Champion Gundyr. Is what this one looks like, I'd say. And so, let's see, Champion Gundyr. I think he'd be a good guest. The Cleric Beast. Nah, he'd be too busy screaming, not invited. Commander Gaius. Bad guest for now. Maybe I'll change him later. The Corrupted Monk from Sekiro. Like, this is our first Sekiro boss, actually. I still don't know what this thing is. Is it one of the dragons from like Dark Souls? I don't know. Maybe somebody can tell me what that thing is. Right. So the Corrupted Monk. This is like the actual Corrupted Monk, because there's two Corrupted Monks. Yeah, here's the fake. Here's the Phantom Corrupted Monk right here. This is the real Corrupted Monk. So the real Corrupted Monk. Bad guest. The Covetous Demon. Bad guess. You fat fuck. He'll eat everything. Is that the... I think this is the Crystal Sage, because I think that's the Crystal Sage's big hat. I think the Crystal Sage is a good guest. What am I looking at? Is this one of the tree spirits from Elden Ring? I can't tell. These pictures... this is why everything needs to have, like, its name somewhere in the picture so I can at least know what boss it is. Because, like, I know almost every single boss from all these games, but these pictures just aren't doing a good job. I think this is the tree spirit from Elden Ring. And so, that is why bad guest. What the fuck is this? Oh, I see. That's Dancer. That's the Dancer of the Boreal Valley. I couldn't tell at first. I thought this was like an antenna and a mouth. I thought it was like a big ant or something. No, this is Dancer of the Boreal Valley. Good guest. Good guest. Dark Beast Parl. Not invited. The Dark Lurker from Dark Souls 2. I think the Dark Lurker's like... You have to do like one of the evil quest lines to gain access to the Dark Lurker boss fight, I think. And... yeah. Not invited. Too evil. The Deacons of the Deep. I think that's who this is. I don't know if there's any other. I mean, there's only like one other priest boss throughout. Well, I say that. There's only one other boss that's similar to the Deacons of the Deep, and it's in Dark Souls 2 with whatever their fucking name was. I can't remember exactly. But the Deacons of the Deep. I mean, it's just a bunch of holy men. I think they'd be good guests. Can't remember what his name is exactly, but it's the Asylum Demon, except he's on fire. And bad guest. Demon of Hatred. Probably not invited. He's probably too mad. Who the fuck is this guy? Is this? I can't tell who this guy is. I have an idea, but I don't think that's true. Or I don't think that's correct. Not invited. My mom would think he's too ugly. Is this Bale? Does Bale have a laser beam breath attack? I don't think so. I think this might be... this is either Lanciax, and this is Fortisax, or this is Fortisax, and this is Lanciax. Can I find either of them any place else? Well, there's Placidusax. Is that... God damn it! All these bosses look so similar to me. I don't think this is Lanciax. I don't remember Lanciax having a laser beam breath attack. Fuck you, not invited. Who is this? I can't tell who that is. I can't. Not invited. This is the dragon boss, the final dragon boss. I think it's called like the heavenly sacred dragon. It's one of the final bosses from Sekiro. It's like a super late end game secret boss fight. It it gives you an item that's required for a specific ending. And all that shit. I think he'd get invited again. Like that guy that would be like super respectful. Love that guy. Okay, I'm operating under. I mean, I think this is Ceaseless Discharge. Maybe, I don't know. Unless maybe this is like from Dark Souls Remastered. I don't think this has any Demon Souls bosses in it though. Because I mean, even if it did, I would be at a loss. I've never played Demon Souls. So, but we're not invited. Dragon Rider from Dark Souls 2. Yeah, the Dragon Rider from Dark Souls 2. Say he's a good guest. I think this is the Dragon Slayer armor right here. Yeah, I think this is the Dragon Slayer armor. Let me see if I can actually find something that looks more like the Dragon Slayer armor someplace else. I am not seeing anything. Dragon Slayer armor. I mean, it doesn't have a mouth. It can't eat because it's not really it's not a person. It's just a suit of armor. So we're gonna say he's not invited because he can't eat anyway. I think this is. Oh, this is like Ebrides or something. Ebrides, goddess of the cosmos or whatever the subtitle is. Bad guest. The Elven Beast. Not invited. Sorry. It's too high and mighty or something. This looks like Nishandra, the final boss of Dark Souls 2. She's evil, not invited. I don't know. Oh, I need to stare at this one for a second to see if I can remember. See if I can tell who this is. I can't tell who this is. It's not a good picture. Like, it's just kind of not clear. I don't know. Maybe it's just a boss I'm not familiar with. Not invited. Can't tell what that one is. The fake corrupted monk. Or it's not the fake one. It's like the spirit version. It's not the corrupted monk's actual body. Bad guest. Not invited. Gehrman. So I feel like Gehrman could be a good guest. Yeah, I think he'd be a good guest. He's respectful enough. Fire Giant from Elden Ring. Yeah, Fire Giant from Elden Ring. I mean, bad guest. I'm a bad guest. Fuck. Here we have another boss who could or could not be the Ceaseless Discharge. I have a feeling this guy might be more... Actually, maybe this is like the Demon King or one of the Demon Princes. I don't fucking know. Not invited. Get the fuck out of here. The Flexile Sentry from Dark Souls 2. It's just a sentry, so it doesn't have a mouth. Or it probably doesn't have a mouth. Probably can't eat, though. It's not like a living thing exactly. And so, not invited. This dude is not invited. The folding screen monkeys. I mean, they are just monkeys, but they got like clothes on. They're more civilized, like they're monks or something. I think they'd be good guests, just as long as they don't fling shit everywhere or something like that. I don't know who this person is. They've got a book. It looks like they're got multiple arms maybe, and they're floating in air possibly. What? I don't know who this is. Okay, well, I guess I'm not invited then. Let's see. I think that this is Fortisax because of the whole double lightning spear thing. Because I think I remember having the Fortisax lightning spear attack in Elden Ring. Because you would jump up in the air and you slam both lightning spears into the ground. It creates this big AoE effect. I think that's Fortisax's lightning spear. So I think this is Fortisax. And Fortisax, I don't know what's up with the Duskborn ending in Elden Ring. I never got that ending, despite all the times I beat the game. And so I just... Not invited. The Four Kings. Again, I mean, they're kings. I expect them to have really good table manners. That's all I'm saying. Good guest. The Fume Knight from one of the Dark Souls 2 DLCs. I don't know which one because I didn't play them. I just know this guy because he's like, anytime like I see like a video come up on my TikTok page about people trying to bash Dark Souls 2's hitboxes, it's always the Fume Knight. It's always people talking about they got the freaking hitbox vectors on so you can see them, and they're talking about like all the hitboxes in Dark Souls 2 are so bad, and it's just like, no, you suck at the game. That's why it's hard for you. I have at least 200, 300 hours in Dark Souls 2 across playing it on console and PC. Never ever once did I die, and never ever once did I die thinking that the hitboxes were bad. I was just like, damn, I should have just dodged better right there. That's what it is. Okay. Dark Souls 2 is not a bad game. You just suck at it. Okay, rant over. Fume Knight. Good guest. Is that... Oh, that looks like Gale. Slave Knight Gale. Wait, no, no, okay. This is Father Gascoigne. Well, in that case, he's a fucking bad guest. Sorry. This is Gehrman. We'll get to that in a second. Slave Knight Gale, I mean, good guest. The Gaping Dragon, not invited. Gehrman would be a good guest. That's what I'm going to say. Genichiro, I think Genichiro would be. I think my parents would want Genichiro to come over again. The Giant Lord from Dark Souls 2. I mean, good guest? Probably. Probably. Godfrey. I think this is our first They Live Here now. I think Godfrey is absolutely going to be a favorite for my parents. Big, strong, noble guy. Probably got great table manners, all the other stuff. Great fighter, stuff like that. Godric, not invited. Fuck that guy. These three people, these are like the simps that Fia summons right before you fight Fortisax. Do I think they'd be good guests at dinner at my parents' house? I mean, they're just people, right? Like, if they take off, if we like, sure, you can keep the armor on, but like, if you put down the hammer and the shield or the stuff like that, and we sit at the table and we try to act civilized, good guests. This is that Sif? I think that might be no, that can't be Sif because it doesn't have the sword. Sif uses Artorias' sword throughout that whole fight. There's Sif. So I don't know who this is. I think I know. I think this is supposed to be this is a Dark Souls 3 DLC boss, I think, because it's like the Great Wolf and it's like trainer or something like that. I mean, if the trainer is also coming, he can just tell the dog to, chill outside. But I think he'd be a bad guess. I think the wolf would eat my parents' dogs. The Guardian Ape is not getting invited, simply because you can't pull the sword out of its head without cutting the head off. And then, of course, it's still alive after that because it's got the centipede disease. Here we got the dragon. This is one of the dragon fights from Dark Souls 2. This is the dragon that's like, it's at the bottom of the elevator right before you go up to where the dragon area is at. You fight this guy. He's just like a guardian. He's probably also bored as fuck all the time because he just kind of sits down there by himself. Bad guest. Dark Sun Gwendolyn. Ultimate Ultra Femboy Supreme with the tentacles and everything. Might be an illusion. Don't know. That hallway's an illusion. We know that. Okay. I think he'd be a good guest. He's literally the son of a king or whatever. Gwyn. Final boss of the first Dark Souls. So if he's coming to my parents' house, as he is when we fight him in the first game, and he's like all depressed and sad and not powerful anymore, I don't know. Obviously, he's probably still got like good table manners, but at the same time, he might also be a fucking psycho and just, I'm gonna say he's a bad guest. I think that this is. Come on, I just had it. What's his name? This is. I can't remember what his first name is. I don't want to say it's Gyobe Masutaka Oniwa. If you've played Sekiro, you know who this guy is, because he screams his name at you as loud as he can, so you can't forget. And you probably died to this guy 10 times in a row, like I did, because Sekiro is really hard. Hardest Soulsborne game, without a doubt, full stop. If you haven't played that fucking game, then you are/aren't missing out. You're missing out while also not missing out. Gyobu, that's what it is. Gyobu Masataka Oniwa. Because he literally screams his name. This dude, I think my parents I think he would get invited again, but my parents would probably get tired of him after a bit because he's just so over the top. Who is this? Is this the... I don't know. I'm trying to think of who this is. I have an idea, but I don't actually know for sure. And also, who's this? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's just a person, so good guess. Here we have the guardian ape and the other ape. You know, friends and stuff like that. Not invited. The Iron Golem. He's just like a suit of armor. He can't even eat dinner anyway. But good guess nonetheless. Sword Saint Ishin. Probably the hardest boss in any Dark Souls or any Soulsborne game. That's what I would think. Just because that's Sekiro for you. Fucking nightmare. He'd definitely get invited. And then I think he'd be a good guest. Nice and respectful, that kind of thing. I think that this is Champion Gundyr. And so I think Champion Gundyr would be a good guest. I don't know who this is. I think based on just like how the way it looks like it could be from any game, but I'm going to say that this is probably from either Dark Souls 1 or Dark Souls 2. It's not from Elden Ring, I don't think, because the horns are too big is really what's making me think that. Oh, shit. Oh, we'll get to that in a bit. I don't know who this is. I think it's from... But, I mean, okay. Doesn't matter what game it's from. It's a dragon. And while I think it could be a good guest, I'm going to say that it's not invited. Lady Butterfly. Probably a good guest. Lady Maria. If we're talking about like Lady Maria, who isn't jaded and, you know, and or crazy and or pissed off like she is whenever we meet her in the game, then I don't really think that it's gonna be too much of a problem to have her over. So I'm gonna say she's gonna be a good guest. Who the fuck is this? Is that Father Andariel? I can't tell who this is. God damn it, I'm tired of not being able to know who anybody is because of these fucking pictures. Oh, maybe is Father Andariel's son is fucking motherfucking Okay, I'm just going to have to... I think this is Father Andariel because I think that's his big dish that he sort of carries around with him. Maybe we'll actually run into him later on. I don't know. But Father Andariel, he's like a psycho, so he's not being invited. I straight up can't tell who this is. This is like a pile of... Is that like a swamp monster? Not invited. Here we have the Guardian Dancing Lion from the Elden Ring DLC. This guy's... Is just one of the guys I see all the time, and I like to watch like Elden Ring battles. Like it's like they'll take like two bosses and pit them against each other to see who'd win. That kind of stuff's cool. I've seen this thing fight multiple times. And so. I mean, I think it'd be a bad guest. The Living Failures. Not invited. The Looking Glass Knight. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Looking Glass Knight. He can summon other dudes with his shield, and he can invite more. He can have even more guests at the party. Let's see what I think is. I think he'd be a good guest. I think he'd be respectful. I mean, all right. Here we have the Prince brothers, and I think they'd be good guests. Here we have the other King's Pet from the Dark Souls 2 DLC. My parents would love to have this little guy over again. Fucking Ludwig, Holy Knight Ludwig, possesses the Moonlight Greatsword because it makes appearance in every single Souls game. It's a really cool thing. Really cool thing they got going, actually. I'm going to say that Ludwig would be a bad guess, is what I'm going to say. Who is this? I don't know who this is. Not invited. Malekith. So Malekith is a cool dude until you come after him to get the Rune of Death. Like, he's a cool guy up until that point. And so I think he would be a good guest. Well, I mean, by the time that he actually reveals himself as Malekith, he's like, he's actually using the Rune of Death, become my blade once more. It's that thing that people keep saying is hard or whatever. It's not. I mean, it's okay. So I'm actually going to move Malekith down to the bad guest thing. Why is the lighting so bad? I can't see who that is. I can't see who that is. God damn it. Fuck. Is that? What the fuck? Wait a second. I think I'm starting to make it out a little bit. I think I know what it is. I don't know what it's called. Not invited. Okay. Let's see. We're more than halfway through now. This shit's been pretty fucking crazy so far. But I think this is. I'm dead. Of all the Dark Souls games, Dark Souls 3 is the one I have the least. Is one I have the least experience with, but I still have pretty good experience with it. So I think this is Midir, Dark Eater Midir, Stalk Boy Supreme, because he stalks you throughout the entirety of the DLC. I'm serious. Look it up. Midir would be a bad guest, if you ask me. Who's this guy? He's got a scythe, and I think this is a Bloodborne boss. He's like on a rooftop somewhere. I've never fought him before because every time I try to play Bloodborne, I don't get very far in just because it's just not a game that I really, really enjoy that much. I love the game. I just don't enjoy playing it that much, apparently. Let's see. Not invited. Millennia. So Millennia is an interesting one because while she's noble, she would have been raised in like a high class way and other things like that. She'd be polite, proud, good table manners, I'd expect. The issue comes from the constant rot that's always spreading from around her. And so she would be a bad guest because of the fact that because we couldn't stand to be around her. Unless, of course, she got the gold needle prick, which, would save her or whatever. I don't know if actually it would work or not. Murgo's Wet Nurse. Not invited. Not invited. Mesmer. So Mesmer's he's just full-blown ass naked in his room, right? Isn't that what it is? And so because of that reason, also he's kind of just angry and spiteful, I think. I mean, I think Mesmer could be a good guest, but He's just. I'm gonna put him in a good. I'm gonna put him in the good guest category. Mikolash, the Nightmare, librarian dude or whatever the fuck. I don't think he'd be a good guest, and so I'm not going to invite him. I'm not going to invite him. My parents don't get a say on this one. I'm not going to invite him. Who the fuck is this? Who is this? Is that who is this? Like, legitimately, who the fuck is this? I'm starting to wonder if this list does have Demon Souls bosses in it. I really don't know. But because I don't really think it does, because I haven't seen any of the bosses that I know are from Demon Souls. Which is why, and then it didn't say it had any Demon Souls bosses in it. So with that being said, I'm at a loss because I don't know who the fuck this guy is. Is that? Oh, I think it's just hard to tell because of the way it's facing. I think this is one of the. Maybe this is Smarag, or maybe this is Borealis, or whatever the ice dragon's name is in the Mountaintops of the Giants. I don't think so because it just looks too dark in the background. But he looks too angry. He's not invited. I can't remember what his name is exactly, but it's the Lord of Frenzy Flame from the Elden Ring DLC. And he's also not invited. Mogwin. I don't actually know if his full name is Mogwin. I feel like I just heard somebody say that one time. Mohg has been cleared of his charges for one. That's like the thing about it. He's been cleared of his charges. And then, so now that he's not under the control of Mikola, what do we do exactly? Like, I mean, as far as being an Omen goes, he's actually not. He's not bad looking. Like, he's not ugly or whatever. I think Mohg would be, I'm gonna say Mohg is a good guest. I'm gonna say that Mohg is a good guest. The Moon Presence from Bloodborne, the actual final boss. The actual final boss of Bloodborne. I'm going to say that this dude is a bad guest. Bad guest. The Moonlight Butterfly. Good guest. Margit. I don't think it's Morgott. I think it's Margit. I don't actually see Morgott on here anywhere since they're like the same person. So Margit's in a better boat than Mohg is, because Margit actually, like, he tries to be king of Lanedale. He tries to keep things in order. He doesn't try to be an asshole or anything like that. He's just trying to sort of pick up the pieces of this kingdom that's like sort of been, of like his home that's been destroyed. Or something. And so I think he would be a good guest. Mitha, the Baneful Queen from Dark Souls 2. I think she'd be a bad guest, just because, the whole thing of like her, like, and her poison acid attacks and stuff like that. I don't remember what this lady's name is. She's like similar. They're like similar to each other or something like that. But so she's like half scorpion, obviously. Bad guest. The Nameless King, who may or may not be Solaire. I don't know. It's pretty up in the air still. Jury's still out on that. The Nameless King would be a good guest. Okay, so I realized this earlier. This is Nishandra. I don't know who this is. This is not a boss that I'm familiar with. It just looks like Nishandra because, I mean, like, yeah, you can kind of tell. I was sort of wondering if this was Nishandra at first because she's so red and she kind of doesn't look as much like a skeleton. But no, this is Nishandra without a doubt. And Nishandra is evil. Like, Nishandra might be the most evil character in the entire Soulsborne series. I would make an argument for that. I don't know who this lady is, but she looks like Nishandra. She could also have something to do with, you know, crossbreed Priscilla and stuff like that. But okay, ranking is not going to change. Nishandra's evil. Fuck that bitch. Not invited. Osiris from, I think he's from Bloodborne, or he's from Dark Souls 3. One of the two. Where would I put Osiris? Would Osiris be a good guest at my for to have dinner with my parents and me, because I'm there too. Let's not forget about me. Okay. I don't know a lot about Osiris. I just know that he's like this dragon thing that doesn't really have wings. He's really skinny and frail, and I don't think he would get invited. Here we have another one who I'm just not really sure if this is Midir or not. Don't think it is. But I really think that where'd he go? I really think that this is Midir. But there's also like another boss from Dark Souls 1 that I think was really similar to Midir. I just can't remember exactly. This dude, maybe this is the Demon Princes, or like the Demon King, or it's like one of the bosses from Dark Souls 3, something like that. Bad guest. The old Dragon Slayer, who's really just Ornstein. Like he's Ornstein. He got the same moves, same armor, just different color palette. And he's an early game boss from Dark Souls 2. It's a really cool thing. I don't know why people hated it so much. Yeah, I don't know why people hated it so much. I mean, I thought it was pretty cool. But, whatever. And so, he would be a good guest. I think he'd be a good guest. The old Iron King from Dark Souls 2. He's got a really cool, like, opening cutscene because he's just this big dragon fucker that just comes out of the lava in this actual active volcano that the keep is in. It's actually very awesome. Luckily it's not like a super crazy difficult boss fight, but because the run back to this dude is, oh my god. Bad guest. Too much fire. I have no fucking idea who this guy is. He doesn't even look like he's from any of the Souls games. He looks like generic old man with sword. But I'm still gonna say he'd be a good guest. I don't know who this guy could be. I think this might be like the Mist Noble from Sekiro, but I really don't know. Bad guest. Ornstein and Smo. So, Ornstein brings us up to the good guest level. Smo means that they're not getting invited. Sorry, guys. Orphan of Kos, or Kos, whatever you prefer to say. Not invited. Too much baby. Owl. I think Owl would be respectful, but he would not get invited again. Who the fuck is this guy? I don't know who this boss is. Not invited. Again, I'm trying to think of who this boss is, but I can't. The only boss I can think of throughout any of the games that uses shields, the only one I can even think of is Phalanx from Demon Souls. But this isn't a demon. This doesn't have any. This list isn't supposed to have Demon Souls bosses in it, so I don't know why this dude is here. And so, he's just gonna be not invited, I guess. Pinwheel. Bad guest. Placidusax. So my question with Placidusax is: would he be a good person to invite for dinner, based on the fact that he's like a lord and regular lord stuff? I'm expecting him to have good table manners. On the other hand, he's very like prideful and other stuff like that, and he was. I mean, I'm gonna say that he's gonna be a good guest, but I'm not. My heart's not in it completely. Pontiff Sullivan would be a good guest. That's what I'm going to say. Crossbreed Priscilla. My parents would definitely want to invite her again. Consort Radon. So Radon and his +1, his femboy +1, probably good guest. Who the fuck is this dude? I think this is a Dark Souls 1 boss. I'm trying to think of who this guy is. There's so many bosses that all kind of look the same, and yeah, fuck. Not invited. Pursuer. One of the pursuers, because the story is that apparently, so in the game when you fight them, it's called the Pursuer. But this is apparently wrong. It's apparently like a typo that they never patched out. And it's not supposed to be the Pursuer. It's supposed to be a Pursuer, implying that there's more than one. Because that's true. You fight the Pursuer more than one time throughout the game. Like, there's a bunch of different places where the Pursuer appears. Like, you fight him once when you go up that one thing. If he kills you there, he doesn't respawn. Then before you can get to the Lost Bastille, you fight him there. Let's see, after you fight the Smelter Demon at the old Iron Keep, if you go back to the Smelter Demon's arena, you can fight the Pursuer again there. I think he's probably got, I mean, that's kind of late game by that point, but he's probably got more appearances. Those are just the 3 that I know of. And I think the Pursuer would be a good guest. So I'm going to put him there. The Putrescent Knight from the Elden Ring DLC. Bad guest. This lady from Dark Souls 1, I can't remember what her name is, but she's the fire spider lady. Miyazaki's got this weird thing with with hot ladies who have disgusting animal bottom halves. Bad guest. She sets everything on fire. Why am I blanking on the name right now? Radagon. Radagon of the Golden Order, who actually is Marika's alternate personality. Turn into the red-haired. No, turn into the red-haired twink. Considering that you just like the way the cutscene happens is you get through the thorns on the Erd Tree, you walk inside, Marika falls down, transforms into Radagon, pulls the mace out of the ground, and then you just start fighting. No words were spoken. There's no bad blood to be had anywhere. Just hands immediately. Bad guest. Bad guest. This thing, which I thought was, I think this is supposed to be the Royal Rat Authority, and this is the Royal Rat Vanguard. Yes. So the Royal Rat Authority, which I'm pretty sure that's what this thing is. Bad guest. No like. The Royal Rat Vanguard, on the other hand, also bad guest. Alright, Smelter Demon. Just talked about this guy a minute ago. He would not be invited because he's literally spewing flames out of his body at all times. Not good for the wood and not good for the house. R'Lana, sister of Renala. R'Lana would go wherever Mesmer would go. So if Mesmer's not getting invited, then you can be damn sure that R'Lana's not showing up. which is why she would go in the good guest category, because that's where Mesmer is. Renala would be a good guest. She could, like, teach magic or stuff. This looks like the Centipede Demon from Dark Souls 1. It could also very well be, well, it's going to have to be the Centipede Demon from Dark Souls 1 because the only other game that features centipedes as enemies in any aspect is Sekiro, and you don't even fight those things. Those things are technically inside of other bosses, and you pull the centipede out and you stab it with the mortal blade to sever the immortality. It's what it flashes on screen. But the Centipede Demon, bad guest. Assuming that's what it is. Again, I mean, a lot of these bosses look really similar. I'm sorry. Rom, the vacuous spider, is not invited. The Ruined Sentinels, all three of them, would probably be good guests, I'm going to say. Rykard, no. No. Oh, shit. No. The Divine Beast this is from the Dark Souls DLC. I mean, he's just a cute little guy. Invited again. Okay. I think this is. Oh, I know what this thing is. This is another one of this is like the madness, or like the chaos tree spirit from the Elden Ring DLC. And no, not invited. Seath, the motherfucking scaleless, is not invited either. Sorry. The Shadows of Yharnam. It's only showing the one right here, but yeah, it's like the Shadows of Yharnam. I mean, yeah, bad guests. Bad guests. They would just kind of like they wouldn't even sit down at the table. They would just stand in the corner and be mysterious the whole time. Bad guests. Sif. My parents would absolutely take in Sif as their own dog. This is another dragon. I'm trying to think of who this is. I'm drawing a blank. I don't know who this motherfucker is. What the hell? This is a Demon Souls boss. So there have been demons. What the God damn it. So there have been Demon Souls bosses in here because this is the Iron Giant or whatever the hell it's called from Demon Souls. Fuck. Okay. This is probably a Demon Souls boss then. And so, not invited. This is, I'm trying to think of who this guy is. I think this is another Dark Souls 2 DLC boss. And he's probably a good guess. He's just like a dude or something. Sister Frida from Dark Souls 3. Probably, oh shit. Where'd she go? Probably a good guest. The Soul of Cinder. Probably a good guest. Radon without the femboy. Which means he's Radon who's a psycho and eats people. Not invited. As much as I would love to invite Radon, just can't. Kinda just can't. Let's see. I don't know what the fuck this thing is. I wanted to say that this is Nito, but now that I think about it, have we already gotten past Nito from the first game? Nito probably would have gone down. I can't see. I want to say that maybe this is like Nito, except it's too green and I just can't tell. Whatever. My guess is this must be Phalanx. Then in that case, so this must be Phalanx, because there apparently are Demon Souls bosses in this tier list. Fucking whatever. This is probably a Demon Souls bosses. I don't know what the fuck. This thing looks like it flies, which is why it's not going to be invited. This is the... It's like the first boss from Demon Souls. And I'm trying to look and see. I can't really tell. Bad guest. The Taurus Demon. Bad guest. The Duke's Dear Freya. Not invited. Fuck you. The Last Giant. I think the Last Giant could be a good guest. He's probably gonna be very sad though the whole time. be like a bummer. The Lost Sinner. So this lady is like evil or something. She like I don't know what the story of the Lost Sinner is. I think her story is that she like killed her family or something like that. Not invited. This thing from Bloodborne. Definitely not invited. Hell, this is almost a no category. The Rotten from Dark Souls 2. Not invited. Skeleton Lords from Dark Souls 2. Bad guest. Actually, yeah, no, bad guest. Fuck those guys. The Throne Protector and the Throne Watcher from Dark Souls 2. So these are the two bosses you fight simultaneously right before you fight Nashandra. And so the caveat with these two is that you have to you can only down one of them. You can't. It's not like you can focus on one, kill the other, and then focus on the other. It's you have to. You basically, when you kill one, you just down it, and while it's down, you have to kill the other one in order for both of them to die. It's actually, I mean, it's pretty cool. They don't share a health bar, so the fight is difficult, or can be difficult, but just should be smart about it. That kind of thing. Like, I mean, it's a nightmare for like if you're speedrunning the game, but it's not that big a deal. These two would be good guests. Absolutely be good guests. As I said, the Iron Giant or whatever it's called from Demon Souls. I think he'd be a good guest. It wouldn't really do anything. Not that you can talk to it or anything. The Dragon Rider duo, good guests. Velstadt, the Aegis, I think that's what his name is. He's like the freaking guardian protector of King Vendrick, who is right here. I think he would be a good guest, and then Vendrick would be a bad guest, because thanks to Nashandra and her evil ass, Vendrick basically goes crazy. Like he becomes like he just this like what we see him now. He's just like this zombie of a person who just kind of wanders around inside he's just this zombie of a person who just wanders around inside of like these tombs where the rest of his lineage is just endlessly. It's really sad, actually. It's actually really sad. Vicar Amelia. So she's not in her beast form. I think she'd make a good guess, but her boss fight happens in her beast form, so she'd be a bad guest. Vort of the Boreal Valley. Big, chunky dude. Surprisingly fast. Bad guest. Who the fuck is this dude? Who is that? I can't tell who this one is. So no. High Lord Wolnir. Not invited. And then Yorm the Giant. I think Yorm would be a good guest. Ooh, okay, that's it. This was 165 images. Goddamn. Right, so this was all the Soulsborne bosses ranked based on who would be best to bring home to your parents for dinner. Damn, that was... I don't know how long that was. This was a long video. If you all enjoyed this video, please... please subscribe to the channel. If you enjoyed this video, it really helps me out a lot. It means everything to me. Leave a like on this video so that you can, you know, more recommendations and whatnot. Share this video with your friends. This is valuable information. you gotta know this. We're in the big 2-5. And you don't know this. They said if you would be interested in a Patreon for this channel, $1 a month, exclusive video every Sunday, a shout out at the end of every video. Let me know down in the comment section below. Would mean a lot to me. And finally, leave a comment down below letting me know what ranking you want to see in the future. Can be anything. Channel is called Rank Everything. Once again, thank you all for watching. Until next time, have a good one.